Hello and welcome to day 6 of our 7 days of happiness in celebration of the release of my book, The Happiness Recipe, and from a heartfelt desire to share with you small, simple tools that you can use to start cultivating some really genuine, authentically you happiness in your life. So today I want to talk about internal dialogue. So the conversations, the remarks, the kinds of things that are going on inside the privacy of your own mind. And believe me, after being a therapist and helping people through life's traumas until they're okay, and then from okay to fabulous for 20 years, I have heard more than most people all about what goes on inside people's minds. Sometimes I know more about people's internal dialogue than even that person's partner or other loved ones. We have the ability to talk to ourselves, to observe life, and we have a whole lot of information going on inside of our minds. And I want to introduce you to a way of looking at that I've been using in my workshops for a lot of years, which is just going to really help you step into the control that you have over your own focus. Over all of these years in therapy, I've worked with, as a therapist, I've worked with so many people that struggle with depression, anxiety, with stress that they're not able to manage. And part of the problem is they wake up in the morning and they're tracking for how bad is today going to be? How am I going to cope with today? There's thoughts of how hard it's going to be, how bad they are, what's going to go wrong. Now, any human being on planet Earth that wakes up and thinks those kinds of thoughts isn't going to want to jump out of bed and go, woohoo, today is going to be a great day. There are certain types of thoughts that, regardless of your mental state, are going to produce heavy feelings, stressed feelings, anxious feelings. It isn't a mystery. It's not something that's outside of your control. It is cause and effect. If I think about something disastrous happening, I'm going to feel sad, stressed, or worried. If I think about something amazing happening, or some wonderful surprise, or something working out the way I planned, I'm going to feel excited, hopeful, good about myself and about life. Now, just like if you grew up speaking and thinking in English as a young child, when you started to think and develop internal dialogue, if English is your only language, you don't wake up in the morning all of a sudden knowing how to speak in French or Russian or Spanish. And so for some of you, thinking about yourself and about life in a positive way is going to be like learning a new language. Perhaps at the moment you don't have the neural pathways inside your mind, the ways of thinking unconsciously that are actually supportive to yourself, encouraging to yourself. Perhaps you haven't trained yourself to notice what you do well and what's good in your life. It's okay if you're starting from there. It's okay. There are millions, multi-millions of people the world over who've started off with one language and have learned to speak 2, 3 or more. You can learn to think about yourself and about life in a positive way. It's just not going to happen like this. It's going to take practice. Now, some of you might be a little bit in both camps. Maybe sometimes you're really positive and inspired and encouraging, and then sometimes you fall into what I call the blurk, which is that heavy, dark, who doubled the gravity, everything's awful. And when you're down in there, then you think all sorts of crappy, yucky things about yourself and about life. But you've got the ability to think positively as well. So you might be there. For either situation, I want you to do a fun exercise, and I want you to name the radio stations of your mind, your internal dialogue. I want you to start to be able to notice when you're listening to your own version of I'm a loser FM, life sucks FM, nothing works out for me FM. Whatever the names of your radio station is. Maybe your negative radio station is an AM station that's just talk back about how substandard you are. Name it. Give your radio station that's negative, that notices things that are wrong, that are missing, what's wrong with you, negative thoughts, give it a name. And you just notice when you're listening to that station. Give it a name. Share with me the name that you give it. And I also want you to claim the space right now of really understanding that no one gets to choose what you focus on in the privacy of your own beautiful mind, but you. You are the boss. You're the leader of you.com. I'm the leader of Iesha.com, the enterprise, and I get to choose what I focus on. Does it mean that I don't ever have a negative thought? No. Sometimes those thoughts are necessary to do planning. Okay, if this happens, maybe that. If this happens, maybe that. So some of it, there's a therapeutic amount of useful planning. But when it hits that heavy place, it's time to just claim neutrality, claim the ownership of what happens inside your own mind, and choose to listen to another type of radio station. And I want you to name a positive radio station, even if right now that station is Iesha says I can learn to be more positive, FM or AM, even if you're only just tentatively beginning to understand that you can direct your mind to a more positive place. If you've practiced positive thinking before, then you've got a few more tracks to play. You know, the DJ isn't limited to only one song. Name your positive radio station. Name a few. Come up with, maybe I'm joyous FM is just too much of a stretch. You're not there. Maybe it's about playing a track inside your mind that says something like, I'm in the process of caring about myself more. I'm in the process of learning to be more kind to myself and just looking for opportunities in your life to be more kind. So that's what I want to share today. Really notice what's going on inside your mind. If you can't track the thoughts, track how you're feeling. If you're feeling blurky and awful, I guarantee you are not listening to Life's Okay FM. Things are getting better FM. I'm putting effort into creating change, and change is starting to happen. Those kinds of tracks will not create that heavy, blurky feeling. So tune into your thoughts, tune into your feelings, and embrace your power to choose your focus. And if you need help, reach out to me. Thank you for tuning in to day 6, and I will see you for day 7 of our 7 days of happiness. Thanks so much for tuning in. Have a great day.